You bringing her to the gym?
Blue Water Climate Control. From heating and AC installation and repair, commercial or residential, when you choose Blue Water Climate Control, we offer solutions, not a sales pitch. Blue Water Climate Control. Veteran-owned, superior service.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Bucket MC Show, sponsored by Volunteer Roadshow. Maria, say what's up to the people.
What's up to the people?
And let's thank the rest of our sponsors. Orange Mountain Designs, Terry Holder will be having a storefront opening back up. We will keep you up to date on that. Also, we have Alexis Hornbuckle Basketball, where you can get all of your basketball needs, whether that's private training, group training, team training. If you're in and around the Knoxville area, call me. The Gold Standard Fitness and Sports Performance Training from our very own Volunteer Roadshow co-host Monday nights, Jamel Johnson. Make sure you go get fit, go get right. Nelson Garcia just passed it tutoring for all mathematical assistants K through 12, including SAT, ACT, and PSAT. Remember, we are Sam Strong, and big thank you to our sponsors. Maria, what we got?
I'm just glad to see you on the show. I'm going to share it on Twitter.
Let me do this.
Not driving. I can't remember the last time we had you on the show and you weren't driving a motor vehicle.
True.
So I'm happy.
Well, I am glad to be sitting in one place.
Are you in Knoxville?
I'm in Alcoa right now. I'm actually going to go play pickup with some old heads. At 8 o'clock at South Doyle High School. So over here at John's house, my guy John Schneider's house, I train his daughter. First off, hilarious. She needs her own show. It's going to be called Tay TV. I'm going to let her make her debut a little later.
All right. We'll have her on one time. That'll be fun. And most I, of definitely. Course, am home waiting on what I hope is an interesting but quiet summer. Interesting in that Tennessee has commitments, but quiet. And then we need an off season here, people. I need everybody to just slow down with all the news. Let's just do basketball stuff now. So, but first of all, we'll talk about. Sounds like somebody's being strangled in the background.
That is an airplane that flew over top of us. I'm taking advantage of this nice, beautiful day outside, and, well, that comes with natural noises.
This is an airplane. I'm like, somebody's being strangled wherever Alexis is. Softball gets underway in the NCAA tournament this Friday. They will play at 2:30 Eastern Kentucky. The game before them is Liberty and James Madison, so that will be the regional in Knoxville. Because it's an outdoor event, capacity is now 100%. There is no restriction on attendance, so fans can attend. I believe Friday's game is just like ESPN. Watch ESPN. It's not on a regular channel, so you'll have to get it through your streaming. And then if you stay in the winners bracket, of course, you play Saturday, I believe also at noon and Sunday. So good thing for Tennessee. I mean, they can win their region, and if the bracket holds up, they'll play Missouri, who's the number 8 seed. Tennessee's the number 9 seed. So they'd have to go to Columbia, of course, for that game, with the winner going to the big event, the Women's College World Series. Alexis, I want to ask you about a reaction of a team. And for those that were watching the bracket Sunday night, the top 16 seed, you get the top 16 seeds, and they get to host their regional, and then the higher seed gets the super regional, and then everybody goes to Oklahoma, the final 8 teams for the Women's College World Series. Well, Washington was projected as like a top 5, top 6, top 10 seed. They got the last one, number 16. And when the camera went to the team you know how they do all the happy celebrating, there's our name, we're all excited. They didn't say a word. All the players stood up and walked out of the room. That was their protest of getting that last seed when they thought they were a lot better. What What do you think of that as a competitor, man? I mean, what a statement to make. You don't say a word, don't clap, stand up, walk out.
I mean, that just shows they felt highly disrespected. Like, are you serious? Y'all going to put us here? But now that didn't do anything but give them more of a sense of urgency and go in there with something to prove, and go in there even hungrier than they already were. So it's going to be interesting, I think, Maria.
Can that help a team, or can it also, have you got to manage it? Can that also become too big of a thing when you feel like that, or can it help you or hurt you, or how do you deal with that as a player?
It can go both ways. So it does definitely take a lot of like mental maturity, and realizing, okay, this is supposed to be used to motivate me, right? To help me excel, not to give me tunnel vision and take it personal to the point of where I'm out of my game. So they have to be careful. Each athlete has to be careful, the coaches, the trainers, and whoever is traveling with the team, because, everybody's talking, pumping you up, getting you upset, all the good stuff that comes with being a competitor in a team. And if you're not careful, it can drive you to make mistakes and have turnovers and lose runs that you typically don't.
I want to ask you, and I realize all they did was reflect the disrespect shown to them. I don't even think their opponent had even had time to pop up in the bracket when they got up. So they didn't even see who they were playing.
I'm not mad. I'm here for all of that. I applaud it. Like, listen, we mean business. We're not happy we made it. Like, are you serious? I love that.
Now, if you're the opposing coach, do you try to use that on the opposite side? Do you say, look, they stood up and walked? I mean, you're kind of like not really being given an accurate. They did not see their own team they were playing. But do you say, hey, they stood up and walked out. Let's go shock the world. Let's go be the story of the team that takes them out. Do you try to use that as a coach, or maybe just let it go?
Of course. You go in there, and like Beth just said, you got to make a statement on the field. It's plain and simple. So you use that to pump you up, as far as being the underdogs and feeling disrespected in the sense of them getting up and not even seeing who's in their bracket. But on the other end, you have Washington, like, I don't know. Like, as a player, I would be so disrespected. I probably have, like, the game of my life. Because my only focus would be to get to number one. Like, you got us at 16. I need to get to the first spot. So I'm hoping they take it like that, but it definitely leaves room for a Cinderella story.
Yeah, it'll be fun. It made me want to watch that regional. I'm like, I want to see what happens in that Washington. I mean, they do get to host. They will be at home. They got one of the. I think they would play Michigan if they make it to the winners bracket game. It's assuming Michigan wins their game. So that they don't have an easy path to the Women's College World Series, because if they get out of their regional and the super regional, the bracket has them facing Oklahoma, the number 1 overall seed. So to get to the Women's College World Series. Personally, I would love to see the Women's College World Series come over to the southern side of the country. They have in Oklahoma. Oklahoma City does a great job, but my goodness, they have tornadoes and monsoons and everything in Oklahoma during that tournament. So I would love to see it come over to the south, come over to, I don't know, Florida, somewhere, anywhere. But if you're Oklahoma, if you're Oklahoma, you play your regional at home, your super regional at home, and then you drive 20 minutes to, maybe a little longer than that, probably not, from Norman to the Women's College World Series. So I would just love to see that tournament. But it's sort of like Omaha with the men's. It's been entrenched in one place.
Yeah.
We do have some questions about. William said, "Do we know of any visits that are set yet?" William, not yet that I've heard. Now, typically, sometimes we don't hear about these visits until after they occur. A player puts something up on social media. June visits can happen. I remember Tamari Key visited in June. She wanted to get that decision made before her last summer circuit. She wanted it out of the way. A lot of these kids, they're going to spend July on the road. with these showcase events, they may not want to be spending, and their parents may not want to spend 3 weekends of June on the road too. So June visits do occur, but I think sometimes visits are going to be more likely to occur August, September, October. Because if you're a parent, and you know this, Alexis, from doing AAU stuff, if you're a parent, you basically live on the road in July. So
yeah,
I'm not really
absolutely
sure.
Yeah, you definitely live on the road. That's when all of your major exposure tournaments are, your circuit tournaments are, GUAA, Nike, Boo Williams, all that stuff, Adidas. So, and your nationals. So, yeah, parents want to keep June as their time off. Let their kids recover, let them recover. Maybe even squeezing a non-basketball vacation right before things get hot, and you literally are only sitting still for maybe a total of 6 to 8, 10 days max, depending on what tournaments you choose to play. So yeah, I see that happening in August, September, October. Also, then the girls are back practicing. There's more things for you to be a part of, during that time versus June.
Yeah, in June, I mean, yeah, the kids are on campus, but it's not that atmosphere like you get in August,
absolutely
in September,
not.
in October. Credence said, "Hey, y'all, I'm late. What did I miss?" Credence, we were just talking about the softball tournament, how Tennessee opens up play Friday at 2:30 against Eastern Kentucky. We talked about Washington getting a lower seed than they expected and walking out in TV when the brackets were shown and put them at number 16, which I think was a gangster move, and I love it. I'm like, you stand up and walk out. But it can go either way with how it motivates the other team. Karen Vogel wants to know what we think of Andrea Carter doing WNBA coverage. I watched both those games Saturday. I thought she rocked it. She poised, knows what she's talking about. I mean, that was her a national television debut because that was ABC. Yeah. And I just thought she had a heck of a debut and she had never covered WNBA before, and she gets dropped in that, and she does her homework. She does a lot of research, and you can tell. Alexis, have you had a chance to watch any of the WNBA this weekend, the way it started out?
I watched a little bit. I caught a little bit of Candace's game, which was obviously Drea's debut, which congratulations, Drea, another Lady Vol doing awesome things off the court, but still for the game. I love it. I know Pat's smiling down in heaven. But I need to go back and really watch it and listen because it is a unique skill to be able to do, that type of broadcasting, and to make that jump from the SEC to a national stage, I think is amazing. It's going after the championship in a sense in that line of work. So I love it.
Yeah, Candace, man, she turned back the clock. She looked like old. I mean, not old Candace, but like prime Candace in parts of that game.
She's been putting in that work. CP, we see you. I see you. You've been putting in that work, man. People always been underestimating her a little bit, I feel like, and underappreciating her true talent and gifts and what she brings to the game. I know they see her in her stats, but I don't think they really respect her for the Candace Parker that she used to be, how she came in and the hype behind it. I think people are going to start uttering her name more than ever.
And Tamika Catchings, that was also the big story of the weekend. Hall of Fame. Were you able to catch any of that or watch it later?
Yeah, I watched it live. It was a great thing. I cannot wait till Meek comes down here to go into the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame down here. I will definitely be in the building for that. But to listen to her speech, see the two people that she had on, Dawn Staley, Alonzo Mourning, like that was huge. That was huge to me. And she's always someone I looked up to. Obviously, Catch is a legend. She's a great. Everybody now knows it if they didn't, because she's in the Hall of Fame.
Barbara Stevens got inducted too, and she was presented by Gino Auriemma and Muffet McGraw. Did you see that speech? She had the line of the night when she looked at both of them sitting on their stools and said, "Do we need to have security up here?" Because those two do not get along, which is clear. I mean, people didn't really laugh, but I did. I thought it was pretty freaking funny.
That's because you have a similar sense of humor. I didn't see that speech though. I did not see it. I'm not gonna lie.
No, she well deserving. And yes, for those who don't know, August 21st in Knoxville at the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame, Tamika Catchings will be inducted. And by my count, that's 12 or 13 people with Lady Vol connections going into that hall. The actual ceremony itself will be at the Tennessee Theater. There's going to be a ton of events going on that weekend. So come in and see some apps. Lauren Jackson is expected to make it from Australia. That's the hope in terms of travel. So it's going to be a great weekend. And yeah, Alexis, I'm on the board for the Hall of Fame, so I'll be around that entire weekend.
You are. You a damn legend yourself, Maria. People just don't even know it. I love it. Low key greatness. I love it.
I stay under that radar.
I like it. You know what? We should get Dana to come on one day and just let's talk about the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame. What's there? What's new? What's coming? And I'll obviously draw some attention to that Hall of Fame and the ceremony and the activities behind it.
No, that's a great idea. I'll reach out to her. Alexis is talking about Dana Hart, president of the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame, and yes, she could talk about what's going to come up that weekend and some special things happening at the hall too. Jessica Gwynn said, do y'all think the recruits are making the connection of these ladies succeeding in basketball or Lady Vols? I listened to a podcast Ray was on, that would be Renaya Davis, and the spotlight of UT was one of her main factors choosing us. She knew she would have visibility. I mean, I say yes, and I think it's even more remarkable that visibility is so high, even though Tennessee hasn't been to a Final Four since 2008. Alexis, what is it about that orange?
Well, the orange is a symbolism of greatness. I mean, why? Because Pat built it. It's a symbolism of Pat. She didn't build the university in and of itself. But when you talk about Lady Vol basketball, you have to talk about Pat Summitt. So I think that's never going to go away. And the type of players that come into the University of Tennessee, driven, people who are future leaders, who are able to excel off the court in whatever it is they choose to do. I mean, brand wise, visibility, marketability, all of that, you'll automatically get coming out of the University of Tennessee, as long as you come and do your part. You do your part in the classroom and you do your part on the court. You're going to have that support going forward. And as long as you network and leverage the resources that you have now, start to create those relationships. So it's great that Renaya saw that, and that helped sway her to come be a Lady Vol. I hope that, our current and future Lady Vols do the same thing. And shout out to my baby. What's up? She back in North Carolina.
Who's your baby?
Sandra Garcia.
Oh, is she on the thing? I was looking up at something.
Damn,
there's
Maria. I ain't even about that life.
Yeah, well, I thought you meant a player or a former teammate or something. I'm like, well, who? I didn't see Sand's comment at the bottom. Sorry about that. I was scrolling up because Micah Skyland asked, who do y'all think is going to win it all? I didn't mean to miss that question. I assume we're talking softball. I mean, you got to look at Oklahoma, #1 seed. I think Alabama, SEC regular season, or Arkansas regular season champion, SEC tournament champion was Alabama. I think you've got to look at those two. Washington, I'm really curious now what they do as that 16th seed. Do they ride that thing all the way? I mean, Tennessee has got obviously they've got some issues with ailing pitchers. So
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Keep going. I'm so sorry.
Dang, Maria, I'm Colombian. I don't want Lex to go missing. Yeah, I didn't realize you were Colombian and Puerto Rican. My goodness. Yeah, Lex will be disappeared. Lex just disappeared.
But y'all gonna know who did it. So I feel safe. But I'm sorry, funny. Maria.
I'm seeing it live now. D4 Sports. Alexis, I'll let you handle this one. Who is the most underrated Lady Vol of all time in your eyes? I'm going to say Alexis Hornbuckle, but I'll let Alexis.
I was just about to say that. I'm betting on myself. I was literally going to say myself because, and it's like, oh yeah, I remember you, and then it's like, oh, you read the stats or the resume, and it's like, oh, yeah. Put some respect on my name, people.
Yeah, I mean, you got 2 national championships, then won a national champion or won a championship title with the WNBA your first year with Detroit. So, it's hard to say underrated of all time. Sydney Spencer probably doesn't get enough credit for that 2007 team.
She was a huge part of that championship run and that championship for sure. And I'm sure other players feel underrated because you come in and you put so much into it, so much blood, sweat, and tears, the work. And for anybody who had Heather Mason, just to survive that in and of itself takes a different type of human being. So shout out to all of my Lady Vols that feel underrated. No disrespect, but I'm always going to bet on me.
You should. Karen wants to know, do you think the WNBA is going to add more teams since the talent pool from college is getting bigger? They need to, but man, that takes some money.
I was just about to say that. We're not even to the pay scale that the WNBA players need to be at. So if you do this expansion, what's going to happen to the progress that just occurred? Like, is that going to take them backwards? It's just going to take a lot of money and investment, which is crazy. So I don't think it's a smart move to expand right now. I think let's focus on bringing in more revenue, more attention, more fans, and more, just love for the game of women's professional basketball. Until then, you're just going to be making teams, breaking teams down, moving them city to city, which has been occurring. I saw on Twitter, like, oh, where should we have a team? And their name is Sacramento, Houston, Detroit. And I'm like, y'all know that there were already teams there, like championship teams in those 3 cities alone, and they didn't prosper. Florida had Orlando, Miracle, and Miami Soul. Didn't last. I mean, it's Florida. Why didn't it last? And I just don't understand when you win championships how you allow something like that that's a tradition in your city for women's sports to go anywhere without properly honoring their presence and what they did for the state and the community and young girls.
Yeah, I mean, the Houston Comets, that run they made, it's one of the greatest basketball teams of all time. And even Houston folded.
Yeah.
I saw a podcast the other day, Lex, that I wish I would love to credit who did it, but I can't. I just saw it on Twitter and listened to it. It was talking to women's basketball players. It was a great segment. I'll try to retweet. If I didn't retweet it, I'll retweet it again. But they were asking who busted your ass when you got to the league. I mean, who just was like,
damn, that's a humbling question, ain't it?
And Candace talked about practice because she went up against Lisa Leslie, and
I was going to say
someone else that was talking about defense and like, somebody had to guard Cynthia Cooper and would say, oh, she's old, man, I can take her, and Cynthia Cooper just waxed her all over the floor.
Oh, for sure.
But when you got to the league, who were you just like, man?
Deanna Nolan,
welcome to the league, man.
Deanna Nolan, tweet. Every day I'm in practice with her. If there's not practice guys on the court, I'm the one that's guarding her. I'm the one being guarded by her. She's super athletic, strong as an ox, and could jump out the gym. She's dunking in practices. Like, and nobody's seeing that because it's not happening in games. That's another thing I hate about like WNBA and how it's looked up on as not as entertaining. If y'all pay us more, I guarantee you'll get more entertaining. But tweet, oh my Jesus, like it just took me back to my Nike All-American days, competing against the up and coming best of the best high school prospects. And every shot, like you're worried about it getting taken out the air, pinned to the backboard, stolen right out of your hands, pushed. I mean, it's a battle. But all that did was prepare me for that year at Detroit, and I would not trade that for anything in the world.
Adam Macon pointed out, I feel like Samika Randall was underrated as well. I agree with that. Boo, she didn't get the credit that Shamika and Tamika get for that 38-0 team.
And yeah, she was. They said the 3 mix, not the 2 mix. It was the 3 mix that helped make that run truly go consistently. So yeah, and the fact that I love me some Samika, so I agree.
One interesting Pat Summitt story. I think it was second year, not her freshman year, but sophomore year. Samika, there was a little bit of slippage in gameplay, and Pat wasn't having it, but she wasn't quite sure how to get through. So she basically used the newspaper to get a message to Samika with the headline, "Will the third meek please stand up?" and people don't know that Pat basically planted that story. Like, I know how I'm going to get Samika's attention. I'm going to the media with this story. That was all Pat. And yeah, it lit a fire under Samika Randall.
Well, I know firsthand that Pat is good for lighting little fires and pissing you off before a game so you can take it out, on the other opponent. I know all about that. So I 100% believe that story, Maria. No questions asked.
We talked about how Pat said something about you being scared of the floor at Vanderbilt.
Yeah, man. At Vandy. Yeah, right. Get out of here. I had to bust that ass real quick. Excuse my language. I know this isn't Monday night show, the Collective Unfiltered, but I had to say that.
I think we could say that. But yeah, Pat planted that story too. She wanted to make you mad, and it worked. Yeah. I mean, Pat knew exactly what she was doing with what she said to the media sometimes.
Absolutely. I agree with that. Maria, real quick before we head into the last part of our show, let's go ahead and thank our sponsors again. Blue Water Climate Control, Orange Mountain Designs, Alexis Hornbuckle Basketball, The Gold Standard, Just Pass It Tutoring. And I think that's everything. Yeah, so big shout out to y'all. Thank you. And y'all know we are Sam Strong. Make sure y'all go to volunteerroadshow.com. Go ahead and order some of that merchandise. And I wish I could share this beautiful secret that's boiling inside of me that has to do with the Volunteer Roadshow and the direction that, Billy and Bobby are truly trying to go. And y'all stay on the lookout. We're going to find ways to interact with y'all, in person more, obviously, since people are vaccinated. I'm fully vaccinated. I know Maria is. I believe Bobby is. My girlfriend Sandra is. But anyway, being able to get back out there and have conversations and interactions with people, do shows live, have some fun and games. Obviously we're working on location and all of that. We want it to be more of a year-round thing, not a once-in-a-lifetime thing. So, yeah, Volunteer Roadshow. Buy the merch. Help us get there faster.
Yeah, our producer, Alex Carter, he popped up where we can see him saying he's vaccinated too. So.
Oh, yeah. Shout out, Carter. My bad.
And I'm glad to have Alex here tonight. He had a family matter last week to attend to, and I was pressing all the buttons I could, not always pressing the right one. So always happy to have Alex here, and I hope everything is okay with his family. William Wink Smith said the WNBA president said they're going to look for expansion in a couple years and depending on revenue. I think it's a path to explore. Where you put those teams will be absolutely key.
Yeah.
In terms of, Nashville comes to mind in terms of a big city. People have said Knoxville, but I don't know, honestly. Knoxville people will go to Nashville. I think maybe you need a bigger city. And Knoxville, Tennessee fans, there's a lot going on around here in the summer. And the team that may not like it would be Atlanta, because a lot of Tennessee fans will go to Atlanta to games. But I think Atlanta can do well on its own with Renee Montgomery leading the way there. And
oh yeah,
I don't know, Alexis, if you played in the league, what do you think? If you were to add two teams, where would you put them? Any idea?
I think, where would I put them? John said Nashville, and that's because I agree with it being. And I want to say Knoxville. I don't think it would be the right place because, like you say, people will drive to Nashville. I remember those Vanderbilt games. It was nothing to see a sea of orange, and then people coming in. It's a bigger airport to fly into. You have a little more options once you're downtown. Even though I love Knoxville, and then the second one, and plus I can drive there, so put it in Nashville. And then the second one I think would be, let me think. I like the idea. I saw somebody on Twitter said Toronto. I like the idea of a Canadian team that gives people an international experience, by default, just by playing in the WNBA. Even if you don't make it overseas or choose not to go overseas, you at least get to go to Canada, experience that culture. And also it does something for the women's basketball in Canada. It's growing. I've seen it. They got young hoopers out there. They got some dogs out in Canada, baby. So I would love to see it.
That's a good idea. You would, if Florida, so many people who live in Florida aren't from Florida, so it's really hard to advocate for a Florida. I mean, even their baseball team doesn't draw well. They seem to be a very fickle state in terms of actual attendance. Renee pointed out Nashville didn't do well supporting the ABL team that Marciniak was on. And of course, that a lot of time has passed, and I don't know if. Seems like Nashville might do better this time around. Now, traffic there is ungodly, and pricing of hotels, and I mean, it is a very expensive place to live. It's become like Atlanta at this point.
Yeah,
but it would be interesting to see. I would like to see it at some point if it makes financial sense.
Yeah. What about Ohio? I think LeBron and his love and involvement for women's basketball, even behind the scenes, he does a lot. I think that he would help it to thrive in a way as far as getting investors and the money and the capital involved that's needed. And it would come down to the fan support. And I believe, obviously, he would fly in and go see some games in his home state. So that just hit me. And then also being from West Virginia, that gives access to those people, because I know we don't really have close access to NBA teams, professional teams.
Yeah, and that's a good point. You need owners with those kind of deep pockets. People like a LeBron James that can finance it. And most people may not know, Kelly Harper, who was drafted by the Cleveland Rockers in 1999 when Cleveland had a team. Of course, that's 25 years ago. So, yeah. That's a good point. Alexis, you mentioned you're going to play pickup with some old heads, man. How you going to do, man?
Well, the first time Sandra and I both played last week for the first time, and I told you I've been loving this retirement thing, eating very good over here, and so put on more than a few lbs. So I felt like I was in Summitt. Shot the ball pretty decent in the first game and okay in the second. Then I lost my legs, but suffered a lot of losses, a lot of L's. Didn't like that. I was not a happy camper. So hopefully tonight is better. I'm on a little bit of mission. My body feels a little better. I've been moving around a little better. So we'll see. Y'all pray for me though, because these knees, Lord Jesus, they still need help.
The people you're playing against, how old are they?
Well, my good old buddy John here is 41, right? 40.
All right, so you're in the ballpark. You got a chance here.
Who's the oldest? I think the youngest is 26.
I am the second oldest.
You're second oldest, so 41. So 41 is the most. So it's my age range, but they're old heads to me because I'm not 40 yet. Period.
You mentioned Orange Mountain Designs wanting to open back up. Orange Mountain Designs is open by appointment, just so people know. You can call and go to the Alcoa store, but hoping, of course, to have a grand opening or some kind of event. And if that happens, Alexis and I will definitely be there, so we'll keep y'all posted on that. I can promise you East Tennessee weather, man. Better get the electronics in.
Sorry, guys. Hold on. Go ahead, Maria. My bad.
It's okay. Are you out of the rain? I think you froze. There you go.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
All right, my bad.
Okay.
It started
You out of the rain?
Say it again, Maria.
So you out of the rain now? There you go. Now you're in the house.
Yeah, I'm out of the rain. All right, so as you were saying, my bad.
With Orange Mountain Designs, of course, you can make an appointment now to go into the store in person, but we're hoping for a actual grand opening with people as we all start to emerge from this pandemic and vaccinated and all of those good things. So if that were to happen this summer, and we expect it to, Alexis and I will both be there in person. So stay tuned to this show. We'll give you the details once we know them. But we're just trying to get together. And there will be no one-on-one pickup basketball involving me at this event. Y'all can do what y'all want in the parking lot, but just to let y'all know.
Yeah. To have fun. We will if I have a basketball, I'm going to clown around a little bit, but hopefully it all goes down and we can be there, Maria. I'm excited. I'm excited for Terry first and foremost, and I'm excited for the fans to be able to grab their Lady Vol merch because season is going to come quicker than we think.
I agree. It seems like a long way off, but it is not. Next thing you know, a couple quick follow-up things for people asked me last week if Jesse Rennie or Marta Suarez would be able to go home. The answer is no, because of international travel and the concern of the travel restrictions and getting them back.
Right.
So both players are staying in Tennessee. They can go places within the United States. I know Jessie went on a beach vacation with some of her with Jordan Horston and Tamari Key and somebody else who I can't remember. Sorry, I don't stalk these kids on social media. I just remember seeing that they were at the beach and Jessie was with them. So Glory Johnson. I haven't been able to raise her. Alexis, if you've got any pull, if you could find Glory, she's like falling off the radar. I know she didn't go to training camp and she's not with a team. So just want to send out some love to Glory and catch up with her and see what she's up to now.
I definitely will. We'll get on it. I'll get on the horn and try to find her and see how she's doing. Prayers up, Glory. Like Maria said, we hope everything's all right. And come be a part of the show. Let's have fun.
Yeah, you reach out to her and I will too. Let's see if we can raise Glory B. Glory, hallelujah. Emily Saunders was with them. Thank you. There were some other people who said that. I'm trying to look at somebody asked what are tickets on season ticket. I'm not really certain. Their prices are all over the place depending on your donation level. So I will defer that question to anybody who is a season ticket holder and understands the parameters of all that. It does vary based on where you sit and how much you donate. We're going to let Alexis go here real quick. We got one last question. I know you got to get ready to stretch, and you older, you got to stretch a little more, get a little more.
Listen, I got the Theragun, I got foam roller, I got CBD cream. I played no game, knee brace. Only thing I forgot was my inhaler. But I know my body, so I know how to play with that.
Yes, you've got to be careful now. Les Wadley said, hello, ladies. Hope both of you are doing great. This will be our last question because I know Alexis has to go work out and Alex has a 8:00 show. How do you see the season going for the Lady Vols? Do any incoming newcomers make an impact? Alexis, what do you see next season if you just had to project it right now?
I see a different type of team. I see a more focused team. I see a leader emerging, and I see some top level competition. It may take us a while to get there, but I think the pieces are in place to at least compete for SEC championship, if not win it, and also make a Final Four run.
As far as the newcomers, I'll grab that. Alexis Dye is their graduate transfer. I think she's going to make an immediate impact. Just experience, seniority. I mean, she knows she's played college basketball. 2 years at JUCO, 2 years at Troy. Ferocious rebounder, and somebody that I think Alexis will particularly enjoy watching play because she's a dog.
Yo, you know I love those. Love them.
And then your 4 true freshmen, I always say don't put pressure on true freshmen. Let them come along. But I think all 4 are going to contribute this year. Brooklyn Miles is speed on speed that she can absolutely fly down the court. You got 2 interior and exterior players who can play inside or shoot, and Sarah Puckett and Caroline Strickland. Sarah Puckett put up a workout video that her trainer did. Alexis, her mile time, and she granted she's a post and they have to be under 8 minutes. Her mile time was 5:15.
Oh my Jesus. That's a cross country runner right there. I like it.
And then Kaya Wynn was the 5A player of the year in Texas. As everyone knows, that's a high level in Texas. And Texas is a deep state with talent. So I think Kaya Wynn can also – she was asked what her goals were. Her goal was to be SEC Freshman of the Year. I like the attitude, man.
I like the attitude. I'm excited to see what happens. Me being this close, I'm going to find ways to get in the gym and kind of watch more behind the scenes and build some type of relationship with the players there because it's necessary. But even without me doing that, I think that we will be off to a good start. I think, what happened last year, injuries, all of that, they see, hey, we got it. We can. We need this, this, and this. And that's what they really focus on and work on not only individually but collectively. Ladies, you don't need to have practice to go have practice, to practice and play together. That's one thing I have to give a shout out to my teammates all 4 years. We put in work, especially in the summer. We will work on the plays we know we're going to run, the types of defenses, because coach doesn't need to be in the gym to make you do that. If you're really hungry and you desire a championship, that's what it takes. It's not waiting until the workouts with coaches. It's what are you doing with your teammates all outside of practice time.
And they'll all be back Memorial Day weekend, so we're just 2 weeks away. And hopefully the restrictions of last summer will ease up. They can actually practice on their own and pick up. I mean, we're hoping to get back to that. We're still in a pandemic, but hopefully these ladies can have a much more normal summer and do that kind of team bonding on and off the court that is so important to a team's chemistry, especially with 5 new faces.
Absolutely.
So I also look for an absolute breakout year from Jordan Horston. I think Jordan Horston is going to open eyes this season. So I think it's going to be I think fans are going to see a good product on the court.
This is one of my young hoopers that I train. Introduce yourself.
Hey,
Tell me your name. How old are you?
I'm Taylor Schneider, and I'm 9.
You got to stay in the camera. Maria, this is who I said needs her own TV show. We're gonna call it Tay TV.
For real?
I think you would eat that up. All right, so real quick, because we're about to go, because I gotta go play pickup. Tell the fans one thing you like about training with me and one thing you hate about training with me, or that's difficult training with me.
So, one thing I like training about you is... Did you even say that?
All right, go, my bad.
So, I like the dribbling drills. And one thing I hate is I had to do 10 laps. And what else do I say?
That's it. One thing you don't like, one thing you love.
Oh.
You said it?
Yeah.
All right, tell the people bye, because I'm about to get off.
Bye-bye.
Tay Schneider, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all will be hearing and seeing more of her, all right? But, Maria, let's go ahead and wrap this up.
OrangeMountainDesigns.com, Blue Water Climate Control, Sam Strong, Tennessee Tap House, Tutoring One. I've already forgotten the name. I need that logo.
Let's pass it.
Just pass it. There we go. I'm like Lex. I'm a visual learner. Give me some visual cues here. Alexis, appreciate you being here and not being in the car. Always good to see you. Go be safe. Go kick some butt on that basketball court, and don't forget to hydrate. That's all I got.
Yeah. And listen, I got water. What else do I have? Not Powerade or Gatorade. What's it called? Body Armor. I have water with BCAA. I got everything. I'm ready. I'm not going to pass out, okay? Great seeing y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. Remember, go ahead and press the like button, thumbs up if you're watching us on Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, or just simply on volunteerroadshow.com or listening on all of your major audio podcasts, including Spotify. So until next time, we love you. Go Lady Vols, and make sure y'all stay safe out there.
Peace.